Hola, buenos días, estrellitas, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estamos? Mira, me apetecía hacer un directito mañanero. Estoy aburrida. Así que venga, vamos a empezar esta aventura gráfica point&click. Que jugué un poco la segunda parte, pero la primera nunca funcionaba. Y digo, vamos a comprarla. Nuevo juego. Creo que en el vídeo no hay subtítulos. ¿Veis? No hay. Y los puse, ¿eh? No, tampoco hace falta. Hay que ver lo que pasa y ya está. O sea, tampoco es una cosa. Pero falla aquí porque no hay subtítulos.
Not deep in some dark dungeon, nor on the peak of a fiery mountain. No, I found it in an old book. I only hope that luck has not abandoned us. What's happened to Peter when the Archmage's men? Doesn't he know how...
Bueno, algo de una expedición que encontró un libro y no sé qué. Oh.
So then, you're MacGuffin, are you? Archaeologist, adventurer, and future trophy on my mother's living room wall.
And you are Monkus, dastardly son of the Archmage. What do you want from me?
I think you know that. Where is it? We know that your feeble-minded servant was on the way to that damned magical trickster Alistair.
I won't tell you anything.
Take him away. Mother has ways and means of squeezing what we need to know out of him.
Pues las tengo en on, ¿eh?
After all, what's likely to happen? Oh well, we're several days away from the wildlands. It's just as safe here as in the elf burrow. Oh, them? If it was left up to them, I'd just be spending the whole day... You're right. We should get help. Quick, back to the elf burrow.
Un enérgico salto más tarde, eso me encanta, tío.
Let's do it.
Vamos a ver, a Ivo se llama ella. Con el botón izquierdo del ratón moverá a la pena del dragón. Esto con el ratón, así que...
One end of the rope is knotted tightly. I could use it to swing onto the other side of the leg.
En fin.
The metal cage is fastened onto the dragon's harness. The old gremlin's in the cage. He hasn't noticed me yet. Hey, hello, you there?
Who are you?
Una elfa del bosque que va a salvarte el día.
My name is...
Never mind. There's something you have to do for me. What are you talking about? It's not just for me. It's for the Alliance.
I've no particular interest in the Alliance.
I don't care. This has to do with everyone.
Oh.
Professor MacGuffin's the name. I'm an archaeologist. I've discovered something. Something important.
And they want it?
Oh, yes. You've no idea how much they want it.
Let me guess. Your kidnappers up there want to use your knowledge to achieve world domination?
I scoff. They would have to skin me before I tell them what I know.
Okay then, I'll release you and let you mortals carry on playing at war.
No, we've got no time to lose. You must take this ring.
Ya estamos con los anillos. Los
Take
anillos
it to
del...
the Archmage Alistair in the town of Seastone on the coast. He will send someone to my house. The book that describes where it is hidden is there in my secret cellar. He must get it to safety.
And what about you?
I will win you as much time as I can. I can endure torture for hours, days if need be.
Madre mía.
Pain, the humiliation, the agony of body and soul.
¿Tiene algún plan? ¿No debería liberarte realmente?
Perhaps I should just release you and we'll do without the pain and death pin.
That would, of course, also be an option. Less dramatic, but if you insist, I will stop you.
How can I get you out of there?
Good question. This cage is well built and the lock won't be easy to deal with.
I could untie the cage and then it would smash when it hits the ground.
Just like my old bones. But it's not a bad idea. On the way to Mortroga's fortress, we'll fly over the White Ridge Mountains. Everything's covered in snow there, and the dragon will fly low over the peaks. We could try it there.
That was a joke. The chances of that working are about 1,000,000 to 1.
Te has fumado.
Any other way to escape? Fighting is not
Yes.
an option.
Let me see how the cage is fastened.
You do that. I'll be here.
Bueno, de aquí, ¿no? Se supone.
No idea what's going on here. I should probably release the old gremlin before we get into enemy territory. We'll have to see how we go after that.
Vamos a ver.
Transport dragons can move great loads, like these barrels, wooden posts, and this big crate. I don't think that this stuff will help me a whole lot. This rope fastens the cage to the dragon. I have to undo it if I want to drop the cage onto the mountains. Oh, this is too tight. I won't be able to undo this just using my hands, but if I had a knife or a sword, I could perhaps cut the rope.
¿Es por aquí?
That's the way up onto the dragon's back. I can't reach the support strut.
Quizás tiene.
Hey, MacGuffin.
What is it?
Es como...
The cage has been secured with a thick rope. I can't release it using my bare hands.
Then you'll have to cut through the rope.
Splendid idea, but I don't have a knife.
Then get your hands on one. Kidnappers up there are sure to be armed.
I fear that could be true. If I'm going to steal a knife from the kidnappers, then I need to get onto the back of the dragon. There's a support strut there. If I could reach it, I'd be able to pull myself up.
No problem. Here, take this.
A ver qué me da.
A whip?
Un látigo.
Always served me well. You could use it as a rope.
El látigo, al igual que todo en el inventario, mueve el ratón al borde inferior de la pantalla para ver inventario, señalar objeto.
I'll just carry on then. You wait here.
Un poco raro este el inventario aquí.
Da, 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 da.
What? Yes, I was evil and beastly. Yes, why? I'm steering a dragon, remember? You know, I'm not being curt with you. Yes. Good. Yes? Oh, by the gods, how I hate her! Not much longer, Marcus, not much longer. Soon you will have it in your hands. But you have to be careful, Bunkus. Mother is mistrustful. She has her agents everywhere. And you are talking to yourself. Better shut up.
There appears to be some truth in the gremlin story. It's vital that I rescue him. If I remain right here on the outside, then they won't be able to spot me from the driver's cabin. I could really do with one of those swords, but I can't reach the stand without the sorcerer seeing me.
Así no te va a ver, ¿no? Está cerrada la puerta, o sea, ¿cómo te va a ver? ¡No tiene sentido!
A thin wooden stick with the flag of the shadow on it. The stick's been tied loosely to the railing. Got it. And the sorcerer hasn't noticed. I think I can reach the sword with the stick, but getting it over here would be a bit risky. The goblin would notice the stick and I'd have a knife in my stomach before I could say, uh-oh. I think I can reach the sword with the stick, but getting it over here would be a bit risky. The goblin would notice the stick and I'd have a knife in my stomach before I could say, uh-oh.
Vale, pues... a ver... No hay nada aquí que me sirva, ¿en serio? Vale, voy a preguntar.
Hey, MacGuffin.
What is it?
¿Cómo puedo volar? Estoy espiando.
So what is this discovery of yours then? A great treasure? A weapon?
I can't tell you. Too dangerous. Actually, no. I don't have it either.
What do you mean?
I found a clue in an old book as to where the artifact, where it is hidden.
Artifact. It. This is getting more and more cliché.
Cliché? A struggle of good against evil is never cliché.
You mentioned your secret cellar. Is that where the book's hidden? Pretty risky. Isn't it a trifle improbable that a 50-metre-long dragon with a pathetically small wingspan could be physically capable of transporting such a substantial amount of gear?
How should I know? I'm an archaeologist, not an aeronautical scientist. I don't concern myself with trivialities. I see it flying, so I believe it.
I, however, find it illogical.
Then it must be magic. If something isn't logical in this world, then it's always down to magic. Be practical. You can explain everything like that. If something's flying that can't fly, magic.
That kidnapper with his troll, who is he?
The sorcerer. He's called Monkus. He's the son of the Archwitch Mortroga.
The Archwitch? How did she know that you'd made such an important discovery?
Beetle, my servant. I sent him on a secret mission to the Archmage. You must have caught him.
I'll just carry on then. You wait here.
Bueno, a ver. Ay, no puedo volver aquí. Parece que no. Tiene que haber algo.
I could really do with one of those swords, but I can't reach the stand without the sorcerer seeing me. I can reach this, the goblin would know. An old cardboard box. It seems to be some kind of emergency kit if the dragon crash lands. There are a few moth-eaten blankets in the box, a bit of dried meat covered in light mould, and a blue and red potion, and a line with a fish hook. It looks quite serviceable.
Ah,
I'll take it with
mira.
me. I'll knot the line to the tip of the stick, and hey presto, I've got a fishing rod.
Ahora sí, ¿no?
That was elegant.
Vale, venga. Ya tenemos la espada del demonio.
I should warn MacGuffin that we're in business. Perhaps he might change his mind. Hey, MacGuffin.
What is it?
Encuentro la
I've got a
espada.
sword and can cut through the rope as soon as you're ready.
Fine. I'm ready when you are. We're over the mountains. It's now or never.
Are you really sure?
Yeah. But if I don't survive, or they catch me, then you'll have to fetch the book from my secret cellar and take it to the Archmage.
Vale.
Isn't this a strange coincidence? A young pretty elf walks through the woods unarmed and is suddenly caught up in an adventure.
Don't talk. Just cut me free.
Vale.
The right moment is close. There's the mountain. Good luck, MacGuffin.
Es que acabo de editar el vídeo de ayer, del otro día. Adiós. La que has liado. Va a ser una peli de estas malas. Hostia puta, qué risa. Mola, mola. No puedo pasarlo esto, ¿no? Vale. Aquí estamos en otro lado.
Wilbur, working hard at it, saving the world.
I'm almost done.
Ah, ya verás.
I could see. Beavering away, eh? What were you this time? A knight riding high on his horse? Or one of those funny little mages again, eh? Hey, hero. I've got a job for you. A quest. Send my new house robot off on a rat hunt. That rat's got an in for my precious hops. And if I don't plant them, here's going to be a wee bit scarce.
I've never heard of a hero having to catch rats.
You're not a hero yet, laddie. You're still my helper. That being the case, you'd better get your act together. Then you can finish up here and go and have some more heroic daydreams. I need to go and do a quality control check on barrels 2034 to 2038. I've got a feeling there might be something wrong with the 2030 batch. We'll see, we'll see.
Bueno, vamos a revisarlo todo.
A large crate. It must have been delivered as I swear. Let's see. Not a chance. I'll never get this crate open with my bare hands. The thieving rat. Devious and dangerous. It always runs into his little hole when I get too close. A dwarf-sized crowbar. So it's pretty big. Let's see. What's that? Ah, a user manual.
Buah.
Wood elvish. Succubushish. Here we are. Dwarven. Thank you for purchasing an X100 house robot, the latest in house robot technology. Feed the X100 the stinking remains of your disgusting existence, but absolutely no broccoli or Brussels sprouts. Rats, there. Rats breeding. Rat hunting, rat hunting. In order to hunt rats or vermin of any kind, you must first feed the X100 with DNA from your target.
Pues jodido.
DNA carriers include hair, blood, sweat, snot, and other things.
Caquita.
Okay, so first I have to give the robot a little garbage appetizer to start it up before I feed it the main course, rat DNA. Finally, a simple rat trap. Dwarfs are excellent stonemasons. That fireplace is proof. The pipes run through the walls and floor. They are part of the central beer supply system, which runs through the whole bastion. That seems to be the rat hole where the little beast plans its raids. The rat has chewed through the wood. There's some fur hanging from a splinter. Ooh, I'll take that.
Pues ya tengo el pelo. Me faltan las horas.
It's a map. It says the country's best pubs on it. It shows the area reaching from our beautiful White Ridge Mountains down to the sea, where the humans live on the coast. That's the Master Brewer's favourite spot. He likes to relax there in the evenings.
A la cocina, a 6 horas.
I call it History of Dwarven Cuisine, the last 3 weeks, by Wilbur Weatherby. A tin coffee pot. It hasn't been used in ages. And guaranteed not for coffee. The Master Brewer doesn't trust non-alcoholic drinks.
Bueno, pues vamos. Darle a comer al bicho.
Let's see how it likes this. Aha! It works. And now the fur. A source of rat DNA. And it's gone. It won't be back anytime soon either. Problem solved.
Pues nada.
Hello, Master Brewer, sir.
Aye, aye, Wilbur.
The rat's gone.
I saw. It's amazing what you little gnomes can puzzle out, eh? The rat's lost his appetite for my hops at any rate. He won't be coming back for a while.
Can I call it a day now?
Of course you can. Safe home, my lad. See you tomorrow.
Where are the other dwarves, anyway?
All away fighting. You know that. There's been nobody here except me for years. I'm keeping the whole place ticking over. If you weren't here, lad, I'd probably have pegged it from loneliness long ago.
Bye.
See you later, lad.
Voy a ver si puedo coger algo en la cocina, ya que estamos.
A very roughly knotted net with loose ends. Maybe it's used for fruit. Although I've never seen any fruit around here. The Master Brewer prefers heartier fare. Dwarven fast food. But I'm not hungry. The Master Brewer says these kettles are used to make beer. This is his private setup, and the proper ones are in the cellar. An old, rather dirty cooking pot. Ah! Gluten slime. Maybe I should have thrown out the rest of that chocolate pudding. A pile of dirty dishes. The longer the other dwarves are away, the less attention the Master Brewer pays to things like this. The stove isn't used much. Though this morning the Master Brewer heated up a few beer sausages.
Hola Cthulhu, buenos días. Es un point-and-click de toda la vida.
The coals in the oven have kept the stove warm.
Bueno, voy a coger cosas. Aunque ahora no la necesite, pero a lo mejor más adelante... Sí.
The sun is pretty low. It'll be dark soon.
Vamos. Creo que ya está todo. Eso, yo siempre cojo el todo.
And another day ends. And, as usual, I didn't save any princesses, fight any dragons, or hunt any orcs. I chased a rat off, and I didn't even do it myself. I used a fully automated robot instead. It's going to take more than that before my statue stands next to Knight Tilo in the Hall of Heroes, but I'm going to make it one day.
Un enano que sueña ser un héroe, vaya te lo diré. Ah, ya cae. Claro, eso sí al principio, tú te lo has perdido, ¿no? ¿Está vivo o muerto? A ver.
Hey, you, boy! You've got to get me out of here! Quickly, please. I was abducted. An elf freed me. They want... You've got to believe me. I have the key to something that could determine the fate of the war. Listen, boy. It's too late. You see this ring?
Estamos con los anillos.
It's the key. Take it to the human archmage in the town of Seastone. You understand?
But...
all of our fates depend on it.
Ahora me tengo que ir de juerga. Hace tiempo que lo quería jugar, pero bueno, empecé un día el segundo, pero quería hacer el primero, que es este, porque si no te enteras del segundo.
I need help. I should ask the Master Brewer for help. Or Grandad. He fought for the Alliance. Of course, it's pretty cold all year round up here in the mountains. But this year, winter came particularly early. It worked. I got one. Master Brewer, sir! Hello, Master Brewer, sir. Where are you?
Se durmió.
Master Brewer, sir. Master Brewer.
What? What?
We have to tell the other dwarves there was this gremlin in a cage and he gave me this ring and...
What kind of ring?
This ring. It's a very important ring. The gremlin said all our fates...
Wilbur, I really don't have time for this kid stuff. I've got more important things to do.
But the ring has to be delivered to the Archmage down in the human town. The gremlin said it could end the war.
Listen, lad. That's a ring. What's it supposed to be able to do?
It's... I have to. The gremlin wasn't lying.
Just think about it. When has anybody ever given an important ring to a little being like a gnome? That sort of thing just doesn't happen.
But...
That's enough. Now, go. It's getting late.
Ya no tengo capacidad para estos juegos, se van fatal.
Guess
Bueno,
I
es
can't
que
expect
a
any
mí me
help from the
encantan.
Master Brewer.
Aparte de, bueno, de las charlas, de los personajes bastante curiosas, divertidas. Te diviertes, te diviertes.
The tarps are supposed to offer the stonemasons a little protection. They have to be pretty tough if they're out there in all kinds of weather. I'm not climbing up there, it's all iced up. I'd probably end up breaking my neck.
Ah, pues este es... Vale. Este es esto, ¿y eso qué es? Va, vámonos.
There's no way I can walk all the way to Seastone. That's many days' march through these mountains.
Es un poco vago este hombre.
That's the entrance to my family's gnome hole. We've been living here for generations.
O sea que esta es mi casa, vale.
Hey, my mechanical flying fish Nemo. How did you get there? One of the few technical devices I ever built. Well, to be honest, actually my father and my sister really, but I did watch. It still works. A solid example of gnome technology, if I do say so myself.
En fin.
A flower pot full of potting soil. Doesn't look like Mother planted anything in there. Those are my mum's plants. She grows a lot of that green stuff. She keeps trying to genetically change the plants so they can grow up here amidst the icy mountains. My mother is a real whole wife. She spends her time on chemistry, biology, genetics, and that kind of stuff. That door is part of Dad's living space optimization unit. Behind it is sort of a car park for rooms. Oh, I can't reach that. One of my dad's inventions. He calls it a time measurometer. It splits the day into 2 periods of 12 hours each and shows which hour we are currently in. Sometimes I think that thing uses time up instead of just showing it. Those are the controls for our living space optimization unit. My father invented them. That's the lever for my parents' bedroom. I can't use it until they get back. That's the lever for my little sister's bedroom. I'm not touching that. She builds combat robots, and she kind of hinted that she knows how to protect her privacy. This is my very cool room. My old tennis racket, although I was never very good. Cat cut is missing. What did I use that for? My old Gnome Scout rucksack. Pretty tough that, but somehow I always had the feeling it could have been a little larger. I wonder if putting small bags and pouches in it would increase the rucksack's capacity.
Mola, es como un ascensor.
Our kitchen. Our flour mill. Mother makes sure we eat a healthy diet. One day we'll all be big and strong, comparatively. Master Merlin's antibacterial kitchen cleaner. The dirt disappears like magic. If only I could cast spells like Merlin, or any other household cleaner for that matter. Mum hid the knives as a precaution after Grandad's knife-throwing training classes last year. She doesn't trust us anymore. A pale blue glowing liquid. Something tells me it's probably not good for you. My mum wrote super fertilizer on it. Probably one of her genetic experiments.
Bueno, a ver, ¿qué más hay por aquí? Yo voy cotillando todo.
And down we go.
Madre mía. Qué escalera más extraña. Qué loco este juego, tío. Oh.
Hold! Who's there?
Hi, Grandad. It's me.
I doubt it. What's the password?
Password? I don't know anything about a password.
Bad answer. Prepare to die, scoundrel!
It's important, Grandad.
So is the password. We are at war, damn it. War suffereth no carelessness. So, the password.
Mira, pesado. Yo qué sé.
Was it Fluffy Bunny?
You wish, die, maggot.
It's important, Grandad.
So is the password.
Nuclear first strike, sir.
Correct. What do you want?
A gremlin gave me this ring. He said it's very important. He said the ring has to be delivered to the Archmage as quickly as possible.
A ring? Have you checked it for contamination?
What?
For curses, hexes, poison. What am I talking about? Of course you have. No one would accept a ring from a gremlin and not check it for curses. Dangerous little blighters, those gremlins. You shouldn't feed them after midnight, you know.
The gremlin said this ring could decide the course of the entire war.
Decides the course of the war? That would be. Where is this gremlin?
He's been kidnapped. He barely had time to give me this ring. It should be taken to the Archmage
La
as
peli
quickly as
Gremlins.
possible.
Sí,
Archmage.
qué bueno.
Yes, he'd know
Por
what.
eso me reí.
This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've trained for. This is the hour in which a stout youngster becomes an adult. The hour of glory. The hour of fame. Hour!
But what do you mean stout?
Does everyone know what they have to do?
No.
Right, men. Let it be so.
Ah, digo, joder. Vale. Y digo, ¿el ratón? ¿Dónde está el ratón?
Dad's vice brings back a lot of memories. Painful mostly.
Oh.
A huge machine, I mean, even for Grandad. He's really taking advantage of Mum and Dad being away. Grandad has this thing about secrecy. I think he's afraid of Shadow Army spies or something. Something my granddad. I like my granddad, but his inventions are usually pretty dangerous. That's Dad's spare toolbox. Well, he took his everyday tools, his travel tools, and his finest tools with him. Let's see. What have we here? Wrench, pliers, auger grease, a minotaur foot, a curse meter. I'll just tape the entire box. Ah, an old extension arm. Very handy if you're too small to reach an object. Kind of a widespread problem amongst us gnomes.
Y ahora el brazo para coger el pez.
That's one of Grandad's great inventions. A ship which travels underwater. It can already sink. The locker won't open. It was badly damaged 2 years ago in the devastating spring cleaning explosion.
Un montón de cosas ya encima.
Grandad?
Call me Colonel.
Just what exactly are we to do now, Colonel Grandad?
We've just discussed that. You get the equipment, I'll sort out the means of transport.
Equipment for what?
For what? For your journey to the town of the humans, of course. You need to pay more attention, my boy.
I'm supposed to... I thought someone else.
Oh, I very much doubt you'll find anyone else here who's prepared to look death in the eye. This is your chance to be a tragic hero, my boy. A painful loss for the Alliance. Don't you want to be a hero?
Sure, I'd like to do something exciting, but I'm not sure I'm ready to try being...
Try? There is no try, only do. This is your chance. You'll be a hero, and I'll show everyone that this old gnome is still good for something. So, here's the plan. You get yourself some good gear, I'll sort out the means of transport.
All right, I can have a look around, but no promises.
¿Cuáles son las cosas que necesito?
About my equipment.
Yes? Have you got everything?
I don't know. What exactly should I take?
Let me think. You need a helmet.
Un casco.
You can fight without legs, but you can't fight without a head.
Without legs?
And you need a map of the area. Reconnaissance is everything. We are living in the information age.
El mapa lo puedo
So I need
conseguir
a
en el bar.
map and a helmet. Got it.
And then, of course, you need a parachute. Better to be safe
Paracaídas.
than sorry.
Just why I need a parachute?
Just a precaution.
I'm supposed to travel to a human town in your machine, right?
Absolutely, it's the quickest way.
I'm the safest?
Absolutely, it's the quickest way.
Well, we can't expect any help from the Master Brewer. He doesn't believe the ring is important.
I didn't expect much more from that cowardly drunkard.
Grandad, he's my boss.
Some boss sits in his fortress drinking beer from dawn till dusk while his comrades are fighting on the front line.
I think he misses them.
Well, perhaps, but one thing's for sure. We're on our own, soldier.
I'll go look for the rest of my gear.
You do that. I've got enough to do here. But remember, never look a Medusa in the eye. And never look at anyone on the underground.
En el metro.
Right.
Ah, vale. Pues supongo que el casco serviría al pescado este, ¿no? Vamos a ver... ¿Qué te detienes?
I'll just knot the loose ends around the frame. Dad, wouldn't want to play tennis with it, but it does. Got you.
Un montón de cosas, no sé para qué, pero... La lona me podría servir para caídas, ¿no?
A rolled up tarpaulin, probably just like the ones hanging all over the place. That won't work. How am I supposed to attach the tarpaulin to the backpack?
Ay, el mapa, el mapa.
The map shows the area between here and the human town of Seastone. It's worth a try. Yikes!
Well, what's happening?
Oh, nothing much. I just scared off a pixie.
What, here? This time of year? Beasties are getting more and more cheeky.
Phew! That was close.
Uf.
I can't get to the map as long as he's sleeping there. I'll have to distract him somehow. I can't grab it with the arm, and anyway, I might wake him. I'll have to distract him somehow. The X100 makes a pretty good rat hunter. I just hope it never mistakes me for a rat. Actually, dwarves have a thing for beautiful architecture, but when it comes to the beer supply, compromises are sometimes made. I used to be really afraid of that fireplace. Nowadays, I'm only slightly terrified.
¿Qué puedo hacer para distraer a este hombre? A ver.
I can't get close enough. It'll snap at me and slime me. A perfect fit. Now we can make long-reaching attacks on bacteria.
Bien.
Now I'm going to do something I should have done a long time ago. It's too bad that slime had to be so evil. Now that's a helmet fit for a hero. It only stinks a little bit. So that should keep my head safe. All I need now is the map and a parachute.
Vamos a ver, tengo la lona, tengo la caja de herramientas, tengo un carámbano.
It'll take a long time for the icicle to melt. After all, the pot isn't all that warm. I should speed up the melting process. It shouldn't take long to melt the icicle. The stove is still warm. The icicle is gone. All that's left is crystal clear water. rubbish bin is almost overflowing. Presumably it's my job to empty it, but oh well.
Crear la distracción. Así con el robot.
The robot gets its energy from rubbish. That's got the power supply sorted out then. The X100 is ready for use again. I just need some new DNA and it's off on the hunt again. No, I can't. Maybe I can.
Tenía una idea un poco loca, ¿eh? Psicosis. Nada.
I'm gonna burn in hell for this, guaranteed.
En fin.
I wonder if that would work. At least it would distract the Master Brewer a bit.
Adiós, se lo va a poner o no.
Ah! Hello? Stop! That wasn't supposed to happen. I have a feeling that wasn't such a brilliant idea. Oh, I like Master Brewer.
That was amazing. The eternal struggle of dwarf against machine. And I won!
Are you okay?
Of course! Why not? You think a stupid tin bucket's going to beat a proper dwarf? No chance. That was good. Something's happening at last. Cause for celebration. I think we should drink to that.
Ahora podré coger el mapa. Espera.
I think he's drunk with victory, so he shouldn't see anything. I have it. The map of the area. So that's 2 of the 3 pieces of gear already. So all I need now is a parachute.
Oh. Pobrecito. Ha quedado hecho una mierda. Bueno, en fin. Tengo agua, pero...
Love our beautiful White Ridge Mountains. It's just a touch quiet around here. The Master Brewer says it's very easy to brew beer. Still, he did go to school for years to learn how. That is the Bastion's emblem. Actually, an entire battalion of dwarves is supposed to be stationed here. Each battalion consists of 7 companies, which in turn consists of 7 platoons. Each platoon consists of 7 squads of 7 dwarves. Dwarves have this thing for the number 7. I'd point it out to the Master Brewer, but then I'd be the one who ends up washing it all up.
Ay, ¿qué es eso? Coño. ¡Oh! ¿Contra una avispa? Hostia puta, espérate. Un segundo. Ay, cuidado. Uy. Ay. ¿Será? qué susto me pego. Uf. Ah, aquí hay una bomba de agua.
This pump can be used to pump water up from deep in the mountain. Although I wouldn't bet on it still working. I thought so. Broken. The dwarves have a lot of work ahead of them when they get back. If they come back.
Vale. Falta el paracaídas, pero no sé cómo pongo. Mi flowers. A ver si tengo algo en mi habitación que me falte. Que no haya visto. No. Parece que no.
Our kitchen. There's still some grain in the funnel. Barley, I think.
Ah, mira. Cebada.
I don't even know what to do with one handful of barley. Why do I need two then? Doesn't look like Mother planted anything in there. I don't even know what to do with one handful of barley. Why do I need two then? Doesn't look like Mother planted anything in there. A pot of crystal clear water.
No sé qué hacer con eso.
Hello, Master Brewer, sir.
Aye, aye, Wilbur.
Say, you wouldn't happen to have a parachute, would you?
That's a good one.
I didn't think so. When the robot started in on you, I never thought you'd beat it.
It was an epic scrap, lad, an epic scrap. Dwarf against machine, nature against technology, mind over matter.
Mind? How did you destroy it?
I hit him as hard as I could with heavy objects until sparks started leaping out of her.
Oh, a shrewd tactic.
Too right. He did land a couple on me. Look what he did to my beard.
Oh, yes.
I was so tanked up with ale and adrenaline I didn't even notice.
I talked to my granddad. He thinks the ring is important too. He wants to help me get to the human town.
Yeah? Well, of course he wants to do that. Listen to me, laddie. Nothing against your grandpa. But don't you think he's a few gills short of a pint?
My granddad is a great soldier and inventor.
Of course he is. Of course he is. But, how should I put it? He's maybe had one crash landing too many. His flying machines were mostly a bit, temperamental. And let's face it, he wasn't actually the greatest of pilots. Honestly, sir, If your grandpa reckons there's something in that story, then for me, that's just one more reason to keep out of it.
Grandad and I will show everyone. I have to go. Enjoy the celebration.
Yeah, yeah.
Bueno, pues ya acaba el diálogo con este señor. Ah, pues no sé, ¿qué hago?
The bastion looks so impressive. However, many of the halls and corridors were never completed. Probably the statue of some famous dwarven leader. I don't know much about their history. Originally, hundreds of dwarves were supposed to live here to defend the Mountain Kingdom's northern front. Now the Master Brewer and my family are the only ones left.
Qué triste.
The plants have grown. I could have sworn they weren't here yesterday. Mum probably uses a really good fertilizer. Doesn't look like Mother planted anything in there. I think I'll just leave that alone. We gnomes have a golden rule: hands off another gnome's experiments. I don't even know what to do with one handful of barley. Why do I need two then? And down we go. Those are jelly glowfish lamps. As long as you feed them every couple of weeks, they're good for years of life. They used to hang all over the hall. Now these two are all we have left. Parts of some machine or something. If it's useless, it's Dad's. If it's broken, it's Grandad's. And if it's dangerous, it's from my sister Meggie. Thin, silvery, elven rope. It's very light and almost unbreakable.
¿Esto no estaba aquí antes o sí?
I'll thread the rope through the eyes around the edge of the tarpaulin. Done. Let's see. If I pull the rope through the eyes on the rucksack, yes, that should work. There we go. A parachute. And that's the last of my gear. I must get back to Grandad. Fast.
Estoy aquí.
Excuse me, Colonel Grandad?
Yes, report back.
I have the pot, helmet.
Excellent, soldier. The helmet will protect you from physical attacks. You can even sit on it and use it as a saucepan.
Ooh, how practical.
Let me see your helmet.
It's not all that great, I know, but
What? It's a good helmet, and it's going to protect a good soldier. That is, of course, as long as the enemy doesn't attack with dragons, or has wizards in its ranks, or magical swords, and doesn't go for your head.
maybe I should look for some armor with magic.
Poppycock! That helmet will do.
I got a map.
Excellent! My commanding officer always said good maps are half the battle. Of course, you won't be needing it if everything goes well.
Estoy tapando un poco el texto,
But
¿no?
if not, it's always good to have a map with
Pero bueno.
what?
Lo pondré arriba, espera un segundito. más arriba. Así no lo tapo, creo. Vale.
I have a parachute.
Fantastic! Parachutes are hard to come by and are difficult to make yourself.
Ya no lo tapo.
After all, you'd only want to entrust your life in a quality product, not something makeshift you've patched together yourself.
Just my life. But of course, I mean, of course not. So, that's the last of my gear.
Verás tú el batacazo.
Excellent! We could get going if only my damn machine would work. But you can't find a thing in this house. No nitroglycerin, no dragon hide armor, no concentrated pillars of salt, no full mithril jacket bullets. Nothing!
¿Qué?
What do you need all that for?
For what? It's a war!
But we just want to deliver the ring to the Archmage. Don't you think a sled...
What? I need a nitroglycerin substitute. Something highly explosive. The only thing that comes to mind is good old dwarven ale.
Dwarven ale?
Devilish stuff. We reduced complete countries to ash and rubble with it. We loved the smell of dwarven ale in the morning.
Okay, I'll get you some dwarven ale. Anything else?
Yes, I need a cog. A 5/8-inch screw steel sprocket, straight beveled, hard chrome plated, BSA threaded flange with right-hand thread and lock ring locking. It's not a standard size, and I can't find one anywhere.
A 5/8-inch screw steel sprocket, straight beveled, hard chrome plated, BSA threaded flange with right-hand thread and locking lock ring. Sounds familiar.
Come back when you've got the stuff. I'll sort out the rest. But bear in mind, the Dark Lord knows all of your thoughts.
Right.
Bueno. La rosca ya sabemos que es del robot. No creo que vea la cerveza, pero lo probamos. Va con el casco. Oh.
Hello, Master Brewer, sir.
Aye, Wilbur.
Mr. Master Brewer, assuming I were to need some dwarven ale...
Dwarven ale? It's not allowed, unfortunately.
Why not?
Have you heard about the explosion on Mount Winterpeak?
The volcanic eruption?
Volcanic eruption. Deep under that mountain was the finest ale brewery in the whole dwarven world. My dad took me there when I was nothing but 2 beer crates tall. Can you imagine how aled up we were?
Kind of. What happened?
Ah, well, some so-and-so cocked up, and boom! That was that! All over for dwarven ale brewing. After the accident, it was banned as a substance of enjoyment. The sharp taste, the warmth in the throat, gone forever. Now it's only used in warfare and in the alchemy industry.
But you do know how to brew dwarven ale, don't you?
Does a one-legged duck swim in a circle? Of course I know. I'm the master brewer. It's not difficult either. First, you get barley germinated in a malt house, then let them bloat up after leaving them dormant for a bit. Then kiln dry the green malt, keeping it turned. Of course, mill it, making sure that the husks don't get destroyed.
The husks? What are
Then mash the whole lot in a mash tun. Obviously, use the decoction procedure. After the iodine test, we get on with purifying and separating the malt from the beer wort in a slatted filter bed.
Of course, but
In other words, we let the draft run through the mash pot. We then put the first wort in the brewing kettle, let it simmer, and add the hops. We let the wort settle to remove the trub crust, add the yeast, and then leave to ferment. Then we run everything through the pebble filter. That's all fair enough. Then it gets more complicated.
stop!
What? We're just getting to the exciting part.
I'm sure we were, but I just abandoned the idea of brewing some dwarven ale myself.
Well, whatever you think.
Let's assume I need a small tankard of dwarven ale really urgently. Could you brew it for me?
Could do, but I'm not going to. It's not allowed.
Oh, come on. Who's going to notice? When was the last time another dwarf came by to visit us?
That's a fair time back.
You see? Wouldn't you just love a nice cold dwarven ale tonight to celebrate your victory over the robot?
Oh, dwarven ale's nectar. I'd certainly enjoy a wee taste of it again. No, it's not going to happen. I'm missing a few ingredients.
And if I get them, would you brew up 2 tankards then? One for me and one for yourself?
Aye. It's a deal. You find me the missing ingredients, and I'll brew some dwarven ale.
Okay, what do you need?
Crystal clear mountain water, hops, and some barley for malting.
Oh, that's it? No deviled fire, salamander eyes, or dragon's breath, that sort of thing?
Nope. Water, hops, and malt. Then there's just a few secret ingredients and naturally synthesized aromatic substances and a couple of...
Sí, vale, tengo agua también. Me falta el
But I've
lúpulo.
already got them here.
¿El lúpulo dónde
Okay,
lo saco?
water, hops, and barley. I'll get them. Do you have any idea where I can get the hops?
Oh, I'm sorry, but that thieving rat took the best part of 5 sacks. I've not enough left. I've got to be careful with it.
The rat, huh? I have a pot of crystal clear water for a dwarven ale.
Show me. That water's very good. We can use this.
Here's some barley from my mum's kitchen. Can it be used for brewing?
It's not the best, but it'll have to do.
I have to go.
Me falta el
Enjoy
lúpulo.
the celebration.
Yeah.
Entonces... Supongo que lo tenía el ratón.
If the rat has stolen that many hops, it might still have something stored in there. There's something in there. Something round. Ugh. Hopefully it's not a giant rat dropping. It's a single hop. This is probably all that's left of the stock of hops.
El lúpulo. Ahí está.
Hello, Master Brewer, sir.
Aye, Wilbur.
I've got some hops for the ale.
Oh, no, my lad. That's not enough. I need more hops. A proper handful.
But I can't find any more.
Oh, well, that's it as far as the dwarven ale's concerned. But you can plant the hops. You'll have enough next year.
I have to go.
Hay que
Enjoy
plantar.
the celebration.
Yeah.
Hay que plantar el lúpulo. Bueno, facilito. Por lo de la madre de este, ¿no? Vale.
Okay, I'll plant the hop in the soil. Let's see what happens. I really can't imagine this stuff. Wow. Good fertilizer, that. Wow! A huge hop plant with tons of cones. I've picked about 10 cones. That should be enough for the dwarven ale.
Esa
Hello, Master Brewer, sir.
Aye, Wilbur.
I've got some hops for the ale. Is this enough?
Ho ho! That's enough. I hope you haven't been whipping stuff out of my stock.
No. Well, only indirectly.
And that means I've got all I need to brew the lovely dwarven ale. Right, it's all go now then. Hey, laddie, just watch out that you don't get any of that in your eyes. It's dangerous stuff.
I'll be very careful. Thanks very much, sir.
Tell me, Wilbur, what do you need all that junk for? The dwarven ale and all the other stuff that you've been dragging out of here the whole evening.
Well, it's because of the ring. I need it. Grandad's helping me get the ring to the human town safe. Well, quickly.
Oh, Wilbur, it's dangerous for a young gnome like yourself out there.
I know, but I promised that gremlin, and I believe it really could be important. And I'd like to get out of here and achieve something.
Taste some adventure, eh?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think that the ring is all that important. Not everybody's born for having adventures, my lad. But maybe you really do need to get out of here.
Really?
Aye, indeed. You still live with your parents, and you keep company with a very interesting, intelligent old dwarf. But that can't go on forever, can it now? So, if you do leave and go off on an adventure, even if it's just a sea stone, then maybe you'll come back and visit and tell me all about him then, eh?
I promise.
Don't forget us. You're going to have to excuse me now. I've got an appointment.
That won't work. It wiggles too much. And down we go. Excuse me.
Yes, report back.
informe, ha dicho. Que me lo ha puesto ahí arriba del todo. Es una farra.
Here's the dwarven ale, Grandad.
Oh, my goodness, we must be careful with this. That means we're only missing the cog. Dismissed!
Well then, I'll let you get on with your work.
Yes, and get a move on. We haven't got much time. But bear in mind, the Dark Lord knows all of...
Right.
Vale, ¿cómo le quito el tornillo al pescado?
This flying fish contains the cog.
Would you bring me a cow if I wanted a glass of milk?
Okay, I'll pull it out then. That won't work, it wiggles too much.
Wow, que no se mueva. Ah.
It's stuck. Poor thing. Shouldn't be a problem with the right tool. There you are. A 5/8" screw steel sprocket, straight beveled, hard chrome plated, BSA threaded flange with right hand thread and lock ring locking. Maybe that cog wasn't all that important. Lie. Oh, maybe it was important. Excuse me.
Yes, report back.
Here's the cog, Grandad.
Por fin. Así nos vamos ya.
I had to break my flying fish for that.
War always involves sacrifice. Your flying fish was a hero, one of our best. We will honor his memory. Now I have everything I need. It won't take long now. Prepare yourself for takeoff.
Take off? That's what you meant by take off.
Absolutely. I aimed her at the town of the humans. Betsy too was of course designed to shoot grenades. But I'm confident that she'll get your capsule there too.
Confident? Get me out of here. Please, Grandad.
Listen, my boy. I'm proud of you. You're doing something very brave. Sure, Wilbur. I'd like you to have these.
Your old aviator goggles. Oh, Grandad, I didn't think...
Too slow, my boy.
Demasiado lento.
Fire!
Que si me hablan por aquí arriba me tendré que cambiar la cámara otra vez al medio.
Good
Si
luck.
No, no, no. Que el texto vaya para arriba o para abajo es un poco loco. Bueno.
Where is it?
He still hasn't told us, Mother.
He will. Who else knows about it?
The Archmage won't know about it yet. We were able to intercept the servant, as you know. But
But
an elf, Mother. She tried to free MacGuffin. She might know something.
she needs to be watched.
Very well.
And now, Mr. Professor, let us have a little chat.
Oh well, no problem. I am an elf, and I'm fit. What now? I'll get the book out of MacGuffin's secret cellar and take it to the Archmage. No, they were all gone when I got there. They collected the cage and were off. Now it's up to us to get the book. Of course I don't have to, but, well, what else am I going to do? It appears to be very important. And even if it isn't important, those shady fellows want to have that book. It's better that we get it out of the cellar before they get their grubby mitts on it. Then don't help me. Why don't you just fly home? Just don't tell my parents anything. Ungrateful feathered fowl.
¿Ya? Ah.
The groundwater is only a few meters down in this region. Presumably the well isn't very deep. The well rope is fastened to the windlass. Doesn't look particularly strong. Pile of logs. There is no way that MacGuffin will get
Aproveche,
such a
Gatulito.
small amount. Not even Autumn.
Gracias.
3 should be enough.
Yo lo cojo todo.
An old watering can made out of metal. It's small even by gremlin standards. A pumpkin patch, not particularly well cared for. Presumably MacGuffin spends a lot of time buried in his books and not enough time in his garden. A tatty wonky scarecrow. Its clothing has been nibbled by mice, but the hat has something about it. I'd say this is a pretty basic millstone. Grain is tipped into the hole above, and you then turn the upper stone. The flour then comes out of the side. A large brick fireplace. The fire grates on the outside, not inside the house. Well, that's a bit unusual, but it does make sense if the professor doesn't wish to have an open fire inside. A swinging metal frame. You can hang pots or something of that sort onto it and then swing it over the fire. I should hang something from it. An upturned flower pot made of clay. There's a stone under it. That could be a firestone. That's coming with me. Presumably the professor wanted to prevent the stone getting wet.
Vaya.
A small old-fashioned shield. The inside is highly polished. The back of the fireplace. When MacGuffin wanted to heat his food up, he just needed to put it into one of those little stoves. A wooden tub, about half full of water. Oh, great. This has the professor's washing floating around in it. White shirts, grey socks, red underpants. Typical bachelor. Everything in a mess. Plates, pots, cups, covered with a sticky mixture of dust and fat. Dead flies. Oh, yuck. It would appear to be a mirror frame. There are still a few broken shards of the old mirror around the edges. The mirror's turned so it reflects the fireplace. Strange. A stone casket placed in a wooden box. The box looks very cheap. It could be one of those storage containers. The stone chest is decorated with 2 angels and has writing on it too. I can't read it. What's likely to happen, eh? Sound. Is it me? Or has it just got much warmer in here? The chest is filled to the brim with fine sand. I haven't got a clue what else might be in there. I can hardly sift my way through the sand with my hand. Looks like the base for a statue. It's made out of stone and it's covered with strange characters. There's a 6-sided indentation on the base. Perhaps the mounting for a statue. A strange stone head. It's been roughly hewn but has a few fine embellishments. A little wooden box. Doesn't look like an antique or anything particularly valuable. It has beautiful workmanship though. It's locked. Old parchment and yellowing papers, filled with texts in many different foreign languages. Adonisham Western, Quenya and Sindarin. And technical drawings in Kuzdal. A large handwritten book. It looks like it's been used a lot. It's the Gremlin's diary. Perhaps I'll find some hints about the cellar. Let's take a closer look. Who would have ever thought that it would fall to someone like me, an old archaeologist, to stop this madness? And I didn't find the key to it on one of my expeditions, not in dark dungeons or in fiery mountains. Oh no, I discovered the answer in an old book. He must mean the book that was hidden in the cellar, in which the information about the artifact's whereabouts is written. The notes end mid-sentence. I wonder why I haven't heard anything from Archmage Alistair yet. I sent Beetle out with a message for him yesterday morning. I hope nothing has... That was the last entry. There are others before it. Books, books, and more books. Most are ancient tomes. They appear to be written in just about every language. Looks like a very ancient sarcophagus. Strange. There are hinges on it, just like a door.
Vamos a ver. Mamma mia. Oh.
Shame. Just a stinky mummy. What have we here?
What are you doing, Mortimer?
What the... Did you just speak? You speak?
Me? No.
Well, yes you do, quite obviously.
What is obvious?
That you can and do speak.
But of course.
You just said that you didn't.
Why are you being so strange, Mortimer?
I'm not Mortimer.
Where is Mortimer?
You mean MacGuffin, the gremlin archaeologist who lives here, yes?
What?
Mortimer.
Yes?
You're called Mortimer?
No, of course not.
I think we're finished with this conversation.
I think you are slowly losing your marbles, Mortimer.
Presumably
No.
the sarcophagus lacks oxygen.
Hola. Uy, ¿qué es esto tan chulo?
Mira, está pintado todo.
Sieve.
Nos ha pintado todo, Pimán.
¿Lo has pintado tú?
Sí. Mira, está muchos colores. Hay muchos colores.
Muchos colores.
Sí.
Oh, por favor. Toma, Izan.
Toma.
Toma, cariño.
Toma tu mamá.
¿Yo?
Sí. Tú pintas, mamá. Tú pintas.
¿Yo pinto?
Sí. Tú pintas esto. Ya está. ¡Loco!
Pero si no tiene rojo.
Sí,
No.
sí. Sí tiene ojo. Sí tiene ojo. Sí tiene. Sí tiene ojo. Tiene ojo. No que corta. Ahora que corta, mamá. No que toca todo. No que cortara. No que cortara.
¿Cortada?
Sí. No que cortara el ojo.
It's old.
Hay que darle punta.
Not really worth a closer look.
Toma. Nada, toma.
Izan.
No, esto no. No está pintada. Toma. Full.
Ya está.
Hola. Hola. B.
¿Verde dónde lo pongo? ¿Aquí?
Sí. Otro verde. Otro verde. Ya está verde.
Estoy pintando aquí.
Toma.
¿Esto qué? ¿Aquí?
Sí. Ya está. Esto. Toma.
¿Dónde? ¿Aquí?
Sí. Ya está.
Ya está, hija, ya pinto más, pinta todo.
Ya está.
Tina de madera.
Que ya está.
A wooden tub about half full of water.
No, quítate, mamá.
Oh, great. This has the professor's washing floating around in it.
No.
White shirts, grey socks, red underpants.
Ah, sí.
Esto.
Pensaba que era esto.
Esto, mamá, esto. Esto. Mamá.
Blanca, ya momento, hombre.
Esto.
Not quite as good as a real mirror, but I can see my reflection. Looking good, as usual.
Me parece mejor que de aquí, pero bueno. ¿Cómo puedo hacerlo?
A standard jelly goldfish. They're everywhere around here. This one here isn't glowing anymore, and won't ever again.
No se ve nada. ¿Ah?
Once they get going, they'll burn for a few hours.
¿Qué es esto?
I
¿Qué
can't
es
fire
esto?
to just with a fire stone.
¿Ah?
I need something that lights easy to get the fire started properly.
¿Qué? ¿Qué es esto?
Es que... Tu pelo,
They'll
¿no?
burn well. They're dry as bone.
Tu peoría.
I'll give it a go.
No quita esto.
What?
Es el pelo pegado, que es con el caramelo o algo.
Sí.
Hay que buscar algo.
That makes no sense if the watering can is empty.
Ya.
I should wind up the rope first.
Me falta esto. Siempre lo haga.
The rope is broken and the bucket's probably at the bottom of the well.
No
where it's
voy a
no use.
quitar esto con la mano. Te tengo que dar el pelo de acá.
That should hold. Let's give it a whirl. It worked. This means that I have a gremlin watering can full of water. The watering can with the cold well water is hanging on the metal arm. Let's see. boiling. Must be that.
Es que tiene algo ahí, ¿verdad?
So good to see you, Mortimer. A very strange person was just here insisting that they were you.
That was me.
You? Mortimer? Why did you pretend to be you?
That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Have you done something to your hair? You look so different.
Are you seriously mistaking me for a meter-high, wrinkly, bald old gremlin?
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself, Mortimer. Look at me. I've seen better days.
I am not Mortimer. Mortimer sent me. I'm looking for a secret cellar. Can you tell me how I can get to
Into the cellar, of course. What cellar do you mean?
What?
You have grown, Mortimer.
Yes, yes. Oh, how we laugh.
Tampoco podía estar muy bien. Todo pesado.
Déjame.
Pero bueno.
I'll take the sieve. The rest looks pretty useless.
Uy. El agua está quemando.
There is
Listo.
something in there.
¿Por qué hay esto? Eso. Me acuerdo cuando te...
Let's see. There's a bit of paper in the box. The paper's densely covered with writing. Deus ex machina. The ghost in the machine is the heading. There's also a drawing of a stone figure. At its feet is a vessel containing liquid. Let's take a look. The ghost in the machine is wise to all the secrets of this house. That's what's written here. Blah, blah. Pour the fuel into the bowl at the foot of the machine to awaken the ghost. Fuel? Ah, here. Grind the beans and tip the powder into boiling water. Then pour the mixture into the bowl. We've already had that bit.
Este está quemando.
Strange.
Eso.
A machine that's meant to be familiar with all the secrets of the house. Perhaps a memento from one of the professor's expeditions.
Ah, es de... Vale. ¿Y dónde consigo las semillas? El grano.
I'd say this is a pretty basic millstone. Grain is tipped into the hole above, and you then turn the upper stone. The flour then comes out of the side.
Hijo. No antes.
I wonder what sort of machine is being talked about here. The paper indicates some kind of stone figure. All the rest is absolutely of no use to me at all without the machine.
Mira.
A daring structure, and just like the whole house, pretty wonky. Doesn't look as if it'll last long. A scarecrow that doesn't even scare Cheep Cheep is clearly of no use whatsoever. Why is that scarecrow not scaring you? Yes, certainly. And how? Normally you're the first to take flight. Do you have any idea which artifact is so powerful that it could make someone into the ruler of the world? No, that's the No, that's been thrown back into the same fire that was used. No, I haven't got a clue. It must be something that no one bargained for. It'll be in the Gremlins book. If only I had it already. Good luck, little one, and don't get up to any mischief. Pumpkins should have been harvested long ago. Some were already starting to go mouldy.
La cuestión es dónde consigo los granos del demonio.
I'm definitely not tidying up here. Why hasn't the Gremlins' companion sorted this out? A wooden tub. Oh, great. I can only see myself in a portion of the room.
Me queda algo más en la caja.
Wait, there is something else. There's a six-sided flat stone hidden under the paper. It has something a bit like a knob on the top of it. Nothing else in there. The box is empty.
Vale, me falta algo.
Va a ser acá. Entonces,
Perfectly.
y se va a traer con un pecado. Queriendo, sí, queriendo. Y se trae esto. Se trae esto.
Ooh, this must be the ominous machine which is reputed to have a ghost living in it. The vessel at its base must be for fuel. The statue has small holes in its nose, and it appears that the mouth could be opened. The vessel's a few centimetres deep and empty. There are some brown stains on the bottom. Hello? You in there? Ghost? Give me beans for your draft. Oh, mighty ghost in the machine. Give me the beans for your delicious, godly draft. Let's look at it this way. If you don't give me the beans, then I won't be able to prepare your stupid draft. And that won't be of any use to anyone. Why the wait?
¿En serio? ¿En serio? Bueno, vamos a ver. Es café.
A watering can full of hot water. If it's worked at all, then those beans should be ground to a powder already. It works. The beans are being ground to powder. That's it. Very well. The water's turning brown. And it smells... lovely. That's the fuel for the machine sorted. And woe betide if this whole effort's in vain.
¿Eso es un mono?
Hello? You there, ghost. I have to find the secret cellar. Will you help me? A clever mechanism.
Qué loco, tío.
this is the legendary secret cellar. The cellar continues on behind these bars. I can't see anything, but I bet that the book's in there somewhere. Guess even a secret cellar is in the end just a cellar, and all cellars have gardening tools such as these gardening shears. As long as I'm not expected to do the gardening now. A small circular opening in the ground. It's decorated with an ancient script, just like the picture on the wall. A staff approximately 2 meters long with a top made of bronze. Looks like something's missing there. This picture seems to indicate that a ruby belongs in there. The sad remains of extinct cultures and of the last camping trip. I can't discover anything.
What is this?
A small fat figure. She's holding a mirror above her head. Looks ancient. A small I think I'd better take the staff with me. It might come in handy elsewhere. There are 3 carved figures by... This one here has a blue sapphire in its head.
Bueno.
I can only see myself in a portion of the room in the improvised mirror.
Yoo-hoo!
I know you've never been down there, but there was a staff in the cellar, and there's a precious stone that belongs on the top of it, a ruby. Do you know where it is?
But of course, Mortimer. You asked me to hide it for you. Don't you remember?
I must have forgotten about that.
So, what would you do without me?
Could you please just give it to me? I just need it for a second.
What?
The jewel. And before you ask, I mean the stone that you put somewhere safe for me. And please don't tell me that you've forgotten.
How could I forget that? You said it was very important that no one found the stone.
Oh, okay. Now please can I have it back?
Why would I give a complete and utter stranger Mortimer's stone?
But I am Mortimer.
Don't be ridiculous. You're too tall, too thin, too hairy, and you have those things.
Dos cosas ahí.
I've had enough of this nonsense. Give me the jewel.
Never. Threats will get you nowhere. I'm a karate master.
I'm a friend of Mortimer. He sent me to fetch something out of the cellar.
I have never seen you here before, and I never forget a face.
Please, it's urgent.
I do not know whether I can trust you. I would only give a really good friend of Mortimer's the jewel.
That's me. I saved his life. Well, maybe.
Really? If you are truly a good friend of Mortimer, then you will be able to give me the answer to the following question.
Mamá, beso, mamá.
Where is his underwear?
Beso, mamá. No, juntos.
Red.
Hey,
He
mamá.
mostly wears red
No
underwear.
hay niñitos.
That's right. Red silk underwear. But I'm still not
Otra, mamá.
satisfied. So, what is his cat's name?
The cat is called Kitty, I think.
No, definitely not.
Pussy?
Echa graba.
Felix? Crookshanks? Jess? Or Mrs.
You're just guessing now, aren't you?
No.
Well, none of them are right. I knew it. So much for you being a good friend of Mortimer.
But I am. The answer is... How long are we going to carry on?
Mortimer was crystal clear about this. He said I should... And as it is quite obvious that you hunt Mortimer,
Quite right.
and that magician is meant to be an old friend of Mortimer.
I know the answer, but I just have to pop out a moment.
Do hurry. I have a lot on.
Desapareció.
Que leer su diario.
No.
What's this at the beginning of this page? Today I have been examining the books that I brought back from the Brindle Mountains. Amongst them is a book about herbs and tinctures. An old herbalist was adamant that I would find a recipe to cure my cold feet in it. What a disappointment, though. Just superstitious nonsense about frog eyes and wool socks. I was just about to burn the book when I noticed that the volume contained other things. A disturbing tale of a tragic relationship between a magician and his pet sheep Boris, as well as a travel log written by a fairy explorer. The travel log described how the explorer landed on an island in the West Seas whilst searching for undiscovered fairy tribes. He created several very beautiful sketches of the temple ruins that can be found on that island. I will use these to entertain myself and translate the runes he drew. The next entry was made 2 days later. It's only barely legible. The gremlin appears to have been very excited. It must be the entrance. The wrath of the gods caused the... Ye gods, my hands are still shaking despite the fact that Beetle made me a calming herbal tea before he left. Good old Beetle. He has obviously got no clue how significant. I have sent him to Master Alistair, the Archmage of the Humans. He is to hand tomorrow. Tomorrow Master Alistair will arrive, and I can unburden myself. I will not be able to sleep a week. And next there's the last entry that I read out before. There's nothing else there. There's nothing more there of interest to me.
Hostia, lo del gato entonces.
The book that MacGuffin told me about is hidden in the cellar. These books aren't of interest.
Os voy a apañar.
A wooden tub, about half full of water. Oh, great. This has the professor's washing floating around.
El gato me ha matado. No sé cómo se llama el puñetero gato.
Les dos uno cero pero siempre
A picture on a stone slab. It depicts a man in a robe with a staff in his hand. A jewel is glinting in the headpiece of the staff. Some sort of light beam shining on it. A picture on a jewel.
no quedaba.
A ver si no está aquí, pero esto era un mono, no un gato, ¿no? A ver, voy a intentarlo otra vez.
Yoo-hoo!
I know what more to...
So what?
I know the...
No la tengo todavía. No sé. ¿Cómo se llama el puñetero gato, tío? Pensaba que estaba en el diario la respuesta, pero no.
Jelly glowfish are really quite frugal animals. They need water and a little bit of food every now and then. I guess this one lacked the latter. I've got a strong suspicion that this thing's got something to do with that light beam drawing on the wall in the cellar. But as long as the shutter outside's closed, no light's going to reach that box. I've got a strong suspicion that this thing has got something to do with that light beam drawing on the wall in the cellar. But as long as the shutter outside's closed, no light's going to reach that box.
Puertecilla de fuera. Ah.
I bet that the light beam is meant to enter the house through that window. I just can't reach it. The window's open. The last rays of sunlight can enter the house. The light beam is reflected by the little figure's mirror, but it's simply shining onto the floor. The light beam is reflected by the little figure's mirror, but it's simply shining onto the floor. Small amounts of light from outside are somehow gathered in this box and exit as a light beam from the glass eye. Not bad.
Estoy en
Presumably
directo.
gnome technology.
Voy a fregar ya, es que tengo hambre. ¿Qué hay para comer?
Pues macarrones, pero se están lavando la olla.
Ah, hay hambre, pero si está limpia la olla.
No, la acabo de poner ahora, estaba puesta en el
La
horno.
otra está limpia.
Claro, es pequeña, no queda bien.
Ay, hombre, que no. Hazla en esa.
Que no, que se queda mal, de verdad. Tengo demasiado que pega por debajo. Está para ropa bien, pero para macarrones. Además hay mucha carne, no cabe todo en la hoja.
Vale, señor. Es lo del gato. Ay.
Dragon skull. It could have been a horntail, nasty creatures, but there are very few around these days. The last of them are now working almost exclusively as beasts of burden. They've not just lost their viciousness, they've lost their pride too. I can still remember a time when dragons were powerful. That was centuries ago, before they were subjugated to a stranger's will by the power of magic. Once they were brought under control, they were used by the 100 on battlefields. From that, very few of them survived. The shield reflects the light beam into the cellar.
No sé si el pájaro me podrá ayudar, pero...
Hey, Cheep Cheep, you'll never believe it. I found the secret door and I've been into the cellar. Hey, I could do with a bit more encouragement here, silly bird. Thank you. Yes, I'm sorry, you aren't a silly bird. Good luck, little one, and don't get up to any mischief.
Pues no, no me ayuda. El puñetero gato, tío.
The window's open. The last rays of sunlight can enter the house.
Aquí no hay nada más. No sé. ¿Y qué será con las tijeras esas? ¿Izan? No tengo ni idea. No lo sé, la respuesta.
Yoo-hoo!
How exactly do the iron bars in the cellar open? Hey, I'm talking to you.
You?
You know what? Forget it. I'll work it out for myself. I'd rather search through every nook and cranny of this house than inflict any more of these conversations upon my elven ears.
You?
Did you have an accident in a bandage factory?
No, I'm a mummy.
Don't mummies have their brains pulled out via their noses during the mummification process?
I don't think so.
I do. I know what more...
So what?
The cat is called Kitten.
No.
Pussy? Feel it.
You're... well...
But I am... How long are we going to carry...
Mortimer was crystal and...
Izan,
quite right.
And that...
ven.
I know the...
No sé dónde está la respuesta del gato. Eso es lo que me falta, tío. El puto gato, de verdad.
Strong iron bars without a door or lock. I somehow have to open...
No sé. Voy a dejar aquí y ya veremos. Porque ni idea. Hasta ahora no hay ni idea, así que lo dejo por aquí. Y el próximo fin de seguimos, ¿vale? Adiós.